6:30. Call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum present. Go through the agenda. Consent item 1. Item 2.
This is your replacement of your Motorola, your radio system. And so item 3 and item 4 are connected in that, one, we're appropriating $7.6 million out of your fund balance, but then the next item actually allows for reimbursement through a later spring sale of your tax anticipation notes.
Okay, well, anybody have anything on number 3? Number 4? Number 5?
I've got some, can you just maybe explain this better?
I actually have my own notes on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little confusing. So there is a lease agreement, and in that agreement, there was an incentive for the bank to get out at an earlier date. And if they met that incentive, they were to get a reimbursement of up to $2,500 a month for a specified number of months. But to qualify for that, they had to actually have a building permit no later than November 25th of 2014. Because they closed on the property August 25th. They had to have a building permit issued within 90 days to qualify for the reimbursement. They didn't meet that deadline. They actually got their building permit in March 13th of 2015. So under the contract, they really don't qualify for the reimbursement as it was envisioned. They have come back and requested that the city council consider some form of a reimbursement. Really not specified in the contract, and they're saying that because of various issues they had, they'd like to see a reimbursement for 6 months from April through September.
Various issues they had, issues with the city or issues with their new building?
Construction issues,
Okay.
not with the city.
Didn't we also have something tied in there that not only was it when they pulled the building permit, but when they finished?
It was
Completion.
when they actually, this 90 days actually keyed off of the closure to when they pulled the building permit. I don't think there was anything related to
Only
completion.
on the term of the lease was to August 3rd.
It ended at that point. So yeah, the reimbursement was totally related to the 90 days, Council.
Mr. Russ, the CEO, president should be here. I don't know if he's here.
But I can ask this question in an appropriate manner. If the two parties in this and one of them wasn't the city, well, never mind.
Go ahead.
Would there even be any room that they would be asking, but they are because we're the city?
They're asking this outside of the scope of the contract. This is not my staff recommendation.
Okay.
I mean, the contract is what the contract is. They didn't meet the requirements of the contract, so the reimbursement is not owed.
Okay.
I think maybe the other half of that answer is that two parties can always discuss what they want. But her answer is what applies from a legal point of view.
Okay.
Any other questions on that?
I get the never hurts to ask part of it.
Okay.
Steve, you want to add anything? Said more conversations with us today?
Any other questions or comments on number 5?
I will bring it. He does understand the terms of the contract. Again, this was his request, as you indicated, to ask.
Nothing else? City Manager, do you have anything else for tonight?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll start it at 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. First item of business is the invocation by Councilman Gilmore
Y'all would
And-
please, oh, go ahead.
and pledge to the American and Texas flags by Councilman Ferguson.
Now that I'm done jumping the gun, Mayor, sorry. Please join me in a moment of silence. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge to the American and Texas flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated.
The next two items are proclamation and presentation by Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson.
Did he call us? Did he call me?
Cicerella, but you're very close. Yes.
Close. I don't know. I might be wrong. But I'm not a council representative, just a business.
I'd like to read a proclamation. Whereas communities across the state of Texas will recognize Chamber of Commerce Week on October 19th through 23rd to celebrate the hard work and accomplishments of chambers of commerce and the communities they represent. The proclamation of the week issued by Governor Greg Abbott states, quote, "Chambers of commerce have fostered job creation, improved education, and developed infrastructure. These organizations have literally laid the foundation for many communities." And whereas the Texas Chamber of Commerce Week is coordinated annually through the Texas Chamber of Commerce Executives Organization, the TCCE. This organization of chamber executives from across the state working together to improve the business climate in Texas while developing ways to enhance the quality of life in the communities that they represent. And whereas the Louisville Area Chamber of Commerce members, staff, and volunteers are routinely involved in many areas of the community. These include the Louisville 2025 Blue Ribbon Committee, business development, business retention, business recruitment, education and workforce development, community development, and beautification, among others. And whereas the Louisville Chamber of Commerce was recently recognized as the most award-winning Chamber of Commerce in Denton County, and whereas in recognition of this year's celebration, the Louisville Area Chamber of Commerce will provide several opportunities for business people and community members to connect. Therefore, I, Arneal Ferguson, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Louisville, along with Rudy Durham, Mayor of the City of Louisville, and on behalf of the Louisville City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of October 19th through 23rd, 2015 as Texas Chamber of Commerce Week. Congratulations. I don't know if any of you would like to say something, but I certainly think we'd love to hear from you. Oh, sure.
Hey, Bob, can you join us up here, please?
sorry, did I miss?
No, our Harmonium Rotary is also a member of our chamber. Our organization can't do its work without strong partners, and I cannot think of any stronger partner than the city of Louisville. And it started with our elected officials, our city manager, and every single one of you city staff. We may only see that engagement occasionally, but I promise you, around the community and throughout Denton County and across the state of Texas, people are looking to our community. In fact, I'm thrilled to say that one of our members, Commercial Bank of Texas, is actually here with us today, came in from Nacogdoches, where they also are deeply engaged in their chamber there. The chamber is only as good as the members that we serve, and we every day work hard to serve the interests of the business community and the community organizations that participate with our many activities. I want to take the opportunity to invite everyone out on November the 5th at the Hilton Garden Inn. We'll be having our Discover Local program, which is our expo. We expect 800 to 1,000 attendees to come out, numerous restaurants. It's all free for anyone to attend. There are vendors that will be there on site, but that's another perfect example of the partnership with the city. Through the city manager's engagement with James Kunke and others, we're advertising that event on 10 billboards throughout the city. And there's other avenues that they've assisted us in spreading the word to the community. So on behalf of the Louisville Area Chamber of Commerce, our board of directors, and over 700 members, want to say simply thank you. How's that, bud? Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you. Almost started back to my seat. So I need to ask, is Mason Miller here? Mason, would you come up and join me for a moment? And also Carol Passenger, would you please join us? I believe you have a presentation.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Do you have staff? We do.
You mean to go the other way? Well, good evening. My name is Mason T. Miller. I'm with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, and I'm here this evening to present a 10-year Texas Optimization Program Award to the City of Louisville C.R. Tommy Fester Water Treatment Plant and its staff. The Texas Optimization Program, and it's short for, we abbreviate that with TOP, helps surface water treatment plants do the best job they can of removing potential pathogens, disease-causing microorganisms from the source water they use to produce drinking water. The TCEQ wanted to recognize the efforts that public water systems were making to optimize the performance of their surface water treatment plants. As a result, the TCEQ met with a group of stakeholders to develop a TOP recognition program. The TCEQ worked with stakeholders to develop recognition criteria that are based on national optimization goals. To receive a TOP recognition criteria, a plant must continuously meet all of the following criteria for 6 consecutive months. On each of these examples, I'm going to read the September TOP MOR that is submitted each month by the plant officials. And I'm just to give a reference of where the city was this past September. None of the filtered water turbidity readings from any of the filters can be above 0.5 NTU. And NTU is just a method of measuring turbidity in the drinking water, the particles, and as I said before, the disease-causing microorganisms. Louisville's September TOP MOR 100% of the readings were below 0.5 NTU. At least 99% of the filtered water turbidity readings from each individual filter, for example, the total number of readings from each individual filter must have a turbidity of 0.3 NTU or less. Louisville's top MOR, 100% of the readings were below 0.3 NTU. At least 90% of the filtered water turbidity readings from each individual filter must have a turbidity of 0.1 NTU or less. In Louisville's September top MOR, 99.9% of the readings were below 0.1 NTU. At least 95% of the total number of filtered water turbidity readings, for example, the total number of readings from all of the individual filters must have a turbidity of 0.1 NTU or less. And again, in September, 99.9% of the readings were below 0.1 NTU. Then the filtered water turbidity must not exceed 0.349 NTU during post-backwash turbidity spikes. In September, their backwash spike was 0.130. And the final one, this is the one that's really difficult to always obtain. What they're doing is they're running a backwash profile on each filter each month, and they're picking the longest, either the longest filter run or the worst performing filter. So they're not getting to go through there and pick their best. They're having to pick the worst one each month. The filtered water turbidity level must drop to 0.149 NTU or less within 30 minutes of returning a filter to service after it's backwashed. Louisville's top MOR for September 30-minute spike after backwash was 0.130. So very, very good. We currently are at 10 years. We're celebrating a 10-year award here today, and that's January 2005 through December of 2014. And we're looking at there are 15 water treatment plants in the state of Texas that are participating in this program. That means there are some that may not choose to participate, but the most obvious reality is not everyone can meet this criteria. And I told these guys at the plant a while ago, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it, okay? So we're looking at 15, we're one of 15 plants out of approximately 385 water treatment plants in Texas. That's the top 4%. So it's with great honor to present a 10-year plaque to the city this evening. Thank you very much.
I'll tell you, this plaque really belongs to Carol.
Oh, let me pass it on down to the ones who really do it.
But I'd like to give you all a round of applause. It's pretty good.
Certainly, I want to congratulate you. And one message that went through my head as he was talking is that if you're buying water in plastic bottles and putting bottles in our landfill, stop doing that. Go to a reusable container because you'll probably get better water out of the tap than you will at the store. Absolutely, please.
Karen's back there taking a video, I think. That's our utilities manager, Karen Imadiazar, and our plant superintendent, Glenn Barker, and our foreman, Trevor Heskett. And we'd like to express our appreciation for council. We started getting involved in this program back in 1998, and it's a voluntary program. And we asked for $2,000 to buy a few turbidimeters and some things we thought we needed to meet the requirements of the program. And I think that was a very well spent $2,000. But the real investment is in these guys because it is voluntary and they don't have to do this. But I think they take great pride in what they do. And we would continue to do it if there were no recognition or no voluntary program because it's that important to provide top quality drinking water. So I think, they deserve the applause.
Thank you. We're down to item E, Visitor Citizens Forum. At this time, any person with business before the council not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the council. No formal action can be taken on these items at this meeting, and I don't have any cards for that. So, go to F, consent agenda. All of the following items on the consent agenda are considered to be self-explanatory by the council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests. For a citizen to request removal of an item, a speaker card must be filled out and submitted to the city secretary. I don't have any cards on that. Councilman Daniels?
Make a motion to approve. Second.
A motion to approve by Councilman Daniels, a second by Councilman Tierney. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Under regular hearings, item 5, consideration of request from Commercial Bank of Texas, N.A. for partial reimbursement of monthly rent as related to the lease agreement dated February 5th, 2014, and provide direction to staff. Comments, when the city purchased the property located at 191 West Main Street, a 24-month lease allowing Commercial Bank of Texas to remain in the building was included in the purchase. A second lease provided that CBTX could remain in the building until a new building at 201 Mill Street was constructed, and it allowed for partial reimbursement of the monthly lease payment if a building permit was issued within 90 days of closing on the new building site. CBTX did not meet this deadline, but is now requesting reimbursement from April 2015 to September 2015. Staff recommendation is that the City Council consider the request and provide direction to staff as set forth in the caption above. And I do have a card here from Rusty Rust. If you'd come up, sir. And if you would give us your name and address for the record, please.
If you will, try twisting that back around the other way. It's got to be turned around a complete 180. Will it come back? There we go.
Okay, thank you.
How's that? Is that all right?
That's better, thanks.
Rusty Rust I'm the president and CEO of Commercial Bank. We're headquartered in Nacogdoches, been on the same corner since 1901. Been in this community since 2011, and we're very pleased to be here. The summary said it pretty well. We have sold our building on Main Street to the city, moved. The anticipation was we'd get to build a little sooner than we did, but because of all construction projects that we've been in, it seemed like it just took longer than anyone anticipated. We have got that building finished. We have moved into it. Are very pleased to be in Old Town Louisville. Louisville is actually one of the larger cities that we're in. Nacogdoches is the largest, probably Lufkin. The rest of our banks are in real small rural communities, but we saw what the city had done in downtown, what the area was happening, what was going on, how the city had invested in downtown, and we said that's a good place to be. So we wanted to stay in downtown, and we're able to find a location to do that. I want to first compliment Steve Bacchus, who working with us when we were going through the project and worked with us on the property to get it done. Steve, I appreciate your help and is always available by the phone to help us. Heather Cicerello, Heather, stand up, is our new branch manager. Is a success story for us. She started with us in Nacogdoches, graduated from SFA, got her master's at SFA. We have a big tuition reimbursement program. We believe in education. This job came available, and she said, I want to do that because I think that's a great community to live in. And so she just recently moved here and will be managing the new branch. So I want everyone to, if you see Heather on the street, introduce yourself. I told her to introduce herself tonight because that's what we believe in. I grew up in a real small community, and that's what community banks do. We get involved in the chamber stuff. We're involved in the chamber. I'm the new chairman of the Chamber of Nacogdoches. That's just what we think works good for communities and makes communities grow. One of our chairman about 75 years ago said, the bank prospers as the community prospers, and we believe that, and we believe we have to work to make the community prosper. So I am here today asking for a partial refund of the rent that we paid. Right up front, I'll tell you, we didn't hit the 90 days like everyone anticipated. In the lease, it says it has to be done in 90 days. I understand that, and if you see fit, we didn't hit that, that's fine. I think that we did show good faith, and we want to be in downtown. And so what I've asked for is just about 6 months worth of rebate back from the time that we did get the building permit up through the end of the lease. So it'd be about $12,500.
Okay.
Happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. Are there any questions at this time? Councilman Tierney.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to have you in Louisville, very pleased to have you in Old Town. It's exciting to see people investing, and it's a beautiful, beautiful new bank where you're at now, so welcome.
Well, thank you. And we looked around, we saw what the city had done with the downtown area. We think that's great. And so that was, it really encouraged us to say, hey, this is gonna grow. It's gonna develop more stuff here. And so that's, we want to be part of that.
Having said that, look forward to working with you in the city and in the chamber. Unfortunately, I'm going to be opposed to this request. Simply, to me, it's a business contract, and it just didn't work out as the contract had asked for. And I think as a steward of the city taxpayers, I just simply can't justify giving $12,500 on a contract that wasn't fulfilled.
Councilman Gilmore?
Appreciate the investment. I'm going to be doing the same. I'll be voting against that, but do look forward to working with you as we roll forward in the future. Thank you.
Councilman Ferguson?
Well, I certainly share the pleasure and excitement of having you here in Old Town. The building is very beautiful, and I'm happy you're here. I don't think any of the decisions we're making tonight are a reflection on less than that. The concerns I have are similar. And it is part that we had a contract and the terms weren't met. It is part that I have some concerns about agreeing to do this and justifying it as having a public, providing a public purpose, because I can't find that in allocating that money. And so despite my excitement to have you here, I'm going to be opposed.
Okay. Councilman Daniels?
Well, and once again, it's good to have you here in the city, and I feel bad I haven't been into your new branch yet, so I'm anxious to
Well,
get
we
in.
invite you to come in.
I need to get in there, so, but also, kind of like with the rest of the council, I mean, you represent your shareholders and your stockholders, and we represent the citizens, and at this time, I don't think it's a good move to be able to give that money back.
Move to deny.
Second.
We have a motion to deny from Councilman Tierney, second by Councilman Ferguson. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
I've done it before. That's what happens when my brain is working on something else.
That's what that out there will do for you.
It will.
Okay.
Never work on three things at once.
It's true. Reports? Where's Nika at? I know she was here somewhere. She's working on the computer. Bob? Chief? What? Russ? Okay. Nothing? Okay. Going down the list. Brenda? Eric? Steve? Steve was out last Friday at the Louisville High School Homecoming Parade. I did see him out there, and Eric too. I saw everybody out there, but Steve particularly, he was sweeping up the candy. And there wasn't anybody around you, Steve. It looked like it was all getting right towards you. So
He's
I
stashing
won't
it
tell
for
anybody.
Halloween.
Okay. Yeah. Councilman Daniels?
Nothing, Mayor.
Councilman Tierney?
No, sir.
Councilman Gilmore?
Mayor, I do have a quick announcement. This Saturday, October 24th, is our Spooktacular Trails and Glow Run at the Railroad Park. I'm going to ask our Parks Director, do you have a number of how many people participated last year?
We had about approximately 5,000. It's a great community event.
Yeah, it's amazing. Bring your kids, bring your not-so-kids, bring your adults. Everybody shows up in Halloween costumes. You get to see a lot of the local businesses. There's games, there's prizes, there's lots of candy, there's a haunted hayride. I don't know, is registration still available for the run, or is that booked?
It is still available.
Okay.
And one thing to mention is the haunted hayride is going to stay open the entire time.
Yeah, so that'll help reduce the line a little bit. But it's the biggest event I think we have in the city that nobody really knows about. It's grown every year that I've been able to go, and it's always been a blast. And besides, your kids need another excuse to wear that Halloween costume. So come on out this coming Saturday, 5 to 9 p.m.
As do certain council members.
What's that?
As do certain council.
Oh, certain council members show up in costume too, but I have no idea who that would be.
Yeah, talk about the Louisville High School homecoming parade last week. I want to thank all the staff and the volunteers that worked out there. It was well organized, and there were lots of kids and lots of candy, and it was a very nice day for the parade. So, Donna, do you have anything?
No, sir,
Okay.
just my snide remark.
Okay. Councilman Ferguson.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, a big-time reminder that early voting has begun on both city bond propositions and some state changes, possible changes to our Constitution. Familiarize yourself with both before you go vote so that when you get there, you'll really understand what you're doing. Certainly, familiarize yourself in depth with the bond package and understand what it could do for the city. The state propositions, take a close look at, and I would suggest do some reading online or in other, from other resources, and look at both sides of the question, and then decide what you think is best going forward. With that done, you will see that I voted, so early voting continues through October, and final voting in November. All of the schedule is on the city website, so you can find that there. The MCL Grand. So first of all, the Addams Family is a show presented by the Acting Studio from October 23rd through 25th, 4 different shows. And The Lion King Jr. is presented by Oh Look Performing Arts Center, October 29th through the 31st, also 4 shows. Public events, we have an Eric Smith Songwriting Challenge on October 23rd, presented by the Visual Arts League, and also the Friday night acoustic jams that take place typically in the Art Gallery every Friday night. Bring your instrument. I always say bring your guitar, bring your lute, bring your banjo if you must, but anyway, bring an instrument or just come and listen. Art exhibits, we have Hard Twist from the National Cowgirl Museum and Hall of Fame that continues in the main gallery through November 7th, and Women of the West, presented by the Visual Arts League of Louisville, that continues in the North Corridor Gallery through November 7th. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Vaughn is out tonight. He's ill. Counselor? City Secretary? Officer, thanks for being here tonight. We do appreciate the work you do. Thank you. Now we'll go into closed session. Item 1, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, pending litigation, TCEQ modification to municipal solid waste permit number 1312A, and TCEQ application to obtain municipal solid waste permit amendment, permit number 1312B. Item 2, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, legal issues related to public receptacles. Item 3, Section 551.072, real estate property acquisition. And item 4, Section 551.087, economic development, deliberations regarding economic development negotiations. We'll now go into closed session.
Second.
Got a motion Second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Good night.